Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. So today I'm going to talk about the file handling using Python programming language. And today I'm going to use 1D array and store the data in a file. Okay. So for doing that, let me open the folder where I'm going to work. So here it is. Let me keep this file in this side. Let me delete this file. Okay, so now this is our 1D array. Let's assume this is our 1D array, and I'm going to take this data and store in a file. So since I'm going to storing data in the file, so first we need to open that file for writing. So to do so, let's take a variable called file equal to, and now you have to use the keyword called open, and then you have to give the file name. Let's say test2.txt. This is my file that I'm going to use. So since there is no file called test2.txt, automatically it will be created here. Okay, so I'm going to open this file for writing. So in double quotation, just simply give w. Okay, so now if I'm going to run this file program, it will create that file over here. Here it is, the file has been created. Now you have opened this file. Now I'm going to write each and every data into the file. So when you are going to take any value or any data from the array, always remember that uh, in array actually it works, or it use the index number. In Python the index number starts from 0. So for calculating the length of the array, we can use a function called length. So let's say arr underscore length is equal to length of that array. Say if I'm going to print it out, you can see the length, arr length. So let's say here it is, the length. So there are 5 data over here, or 5 values are here. So the length of the array is 5. Now since we are going to use the index number for taking individual value from the array, and in Python it starts from 0, so the array the last index for this, that let's say this one is 4. So 0 1 2 3 4, and the length we got here 5. So whenever you are going to use the loop, keep in mind that you have to uh, use, or you have to take the length of array which is over here and compare it with the index number. So for doing so, let's say I need to count it down. So I'm going to take a variable called count and initialize it with 0. Now let's say I'm going to use while loop here. While count is less than the array length, so when the count, that means this value is going to be lesser than the the length of the value, till then the loop is going to run. Now I'm going to store the value of the array and store it in the file. So that's why file dot, and I'm going to use write line here, write lines, and I'm going to use the array data using the index. So for taking the index value, you have to give the third bracket like this. So now here I'm going to use the count. Sorry, use the count. Count. See, spelling mistake. Okay, now it's okay. So I have taken the first value, which is 0, that's mean this one, this index, and store it in the file. Now I have to take the second value, so I have to increase the value of the count. So I'm going to use count is equal to count plus 1. So now I have increased the value and go back over here, compare it. The value of the count is now 1, so 1 is less than the array of the length, which is 5. So let me give here hashtag, and let me give here 5. So this is the length of the file, this is the length of the file. So here this sign is being used for commenting, so that I can easily see what is the value of the, what is the length of the array. I don't need to use this anymore, I can keep it here. Okay, so now the count value is 1, which is less than the length of the array, so the loop is going to run. Then the next value, that's mean here the value is now 1, that means this value is going to be taken and store it in here. Then 1 plus 1 is going to be 2, 2 is less than 5, so loop is going to run. So in this way the file is going to run and store it in this test.txt file. So my work is done here. Now if I'm going to print, let's say print and print the file. If I'm going to print the file, it should work now. Yes, it is working. So this one, you don't need to print it because the file data is not going to print in that way actually. So let's say here it is, the data has been stored here. Okay. So let me open this file. So data has been stored here, but in a single line. Since you don't want to store it in a single line, or let's say you want to give a space between the values, you can do one thing. Here, or you can give a plus sign and in quotation give / and write n. So what happens here, each and every data is going to be stored in different line. Now let's see. So practice, where is file handling, this one. See, it is stored in different line. So n is being used for new line. You can also use t as well, which is for tab. Let's see what happened. See, it gives us tab space. Okay, so in this way you can run the file and store the data into the text file. Another thing, let me try, I'm not sure about it whether it's going to work or not. I can do one thing, like give a comma and use end function equal to blank. I can keep it. Let's see what happens. It will not take actually. What happened if I give plus sign? It won't work. I need to give equal sign, I need to give comma and use the end function, but I'm not I'm pretty sure that end function is not going to work for the file. Kind of, so I don't need to do that actually. Don't do that. So you can just simply do give a plus sign and give or you can give a comma and simply give a space like this. Okay, is there any? Yes, there is an error, argument error, this one. so it actually will not work. So what happen if I give plus sign? It works now. So there is a difference between a comma and the plus sign. The comma basically you can use for different data types, but plus that's mean which means that concatenation mode you have to use the same data type. Okay, so when you are going to merge uh, like multiple values with the same data types, you can use plus sign, but if you have different data types you cannot use plus sign over there. So this is the way of working it. So I have used 1D array here and store the data into the file. Now let's say you have a text file and you want to store the data which is being stored in the text file, and you want to store it in a different array. For doing that, let's say I'm going to take array 2 and keep it like blank, and the value that you have restored here now you want to store in this array. Okay, so let's uh, what I meant to say, like let's say you have a text file like this, and in the question it is being asked you to store the data which is being stored in the text file and store it in the array. For doing that, you don't need to worry about at all. First of all, you have to open the file, since you have already opened that file over here. Okay, so I missed one thing over here, that is I didn't close that file. Close. So now the file has been closed. Now it is another part of the question. Let's say now you have to open that file. Since the file, you are going to take the file and store the data in an array, so when you are going to open the file you don't need to open it for writing. This time we are going to open it for reading. So let's say file 2 I'm going to take as a variable, open the name of the file which is test2.txt, and I'm going to open it for reading. Okay, so this is the name of the variable and this is the name of the file that you have opened for reading. Now sometimes what happens, you don't know how many lines are there in the file. So what you can do, you can let's say you can take the while loop and compare the file to, okay, for first you need to take another variable. Let's say line is equal to file 2 dot read lines. Read lines, read line, actually that's good, read line. So what happened over here, read line of, that's it actually. What happened over here, this function, this keyword is being used for reading the file and taking individual data and store it in this particular value or variable which is called line. Okay, so now you can compare it, while line is, sorry, is not equal to empty, that's mean blank, until or unless the line is going to be blank, you can like append the data, array2 dot append. So since you have stored the first line here, you 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 can use that particular variable to store the data into the array. Now in while loop, always remember that if the condition, like here this is our condition, so if the condition depends on some sort of input. Here it is the input, so you have to take the input twice. So here you have to take the input again, otherwise it will enter into infinite loop. Okay, so my work is pretty done here, and now uh, file2 dot close I need to use. That's it. Oh, sorry, spelling mistake. File2. Now let's see, let's run it. It works, and I didn't print it out, so you cannot see it. Print AR2. Here it is. See, it is stored in a single line, and here it is stored in a single line with a space. But let's say, let me delete it. Let's say you have given here a command like in quotation, in double quotation, you have given, or you have stored the value in different line. In that case, what happened? See, the data is going to be stored like this. Get it? So like, you don't want to put the forward slash and n here. So for doing that, you can use a strip function. So strip, this function, what does it do? It removes the space. Also here, remove the space after each word. So let's see what happened. Here it is. Now it works. So hopefully you understood this part for 1D array. If you have any other query or any other problem, let me just simply know. Okay, thank you.